Tonight, a major Troy University organization gets the ball rolling on a trip to the state capitol for higher education.
Plus, find out how faculty and staff members were able to give back to the university. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for January 25th, 2012. I'm Tiffany Lester.
And I'm Courtney Steele. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University seeks donations from alumni and other sources throughout the school year to fund the university's day-to-day operations. But once a year, the university asks faculty and staff members to make such donations. Wednesday morning marked the kickoff to the annual Faculty and Staff Giving Campaign. This campaign is held at all the Alabama campuses with the mission of getting all faculty and staff involved.
Our goal this year is 100% participation at each campus. Get the faculty and staff to give. The giving level is important, but not near as important as the participation. Because when we go to get external funding, it looks good if our faculty and staff is giving as well.
Dennison said that the faculty and staff can give gifts that are both designated and unrestricted. Donna Hicks works for the Senior Vice Chancellor Office for Student Services and Administration, and she explains how she thinks both are beneficial to everyone.
The undesignated funds, they can go into scholarships, they can pay for all kinds of things that are for students, but also for faculty and staff. And I'm designated and go into foundation funds for our department so that we can do things like we're hoping to use some for student incentives to back up our surveys, to make sure that more people will respond to our surveys, and it really benefits everybody.
Dennison said that she's appreciative to all those that give and will be back in a couple of months with a little something to say thank you.
In March, we'll hold appreciation days. We'll come back and have delicious meals again for the faculty and staff to enjoy as an appreciation that they gave towards the campaign.
Hicks, who has been giving in this campaign for 7 years, said that it provides faculty and staff another way to give to others and explains why she finds it so valuable.
I just think that it's important that we give back, not just to our community, but also to our facility, the school. And especially when you're allowed to designate specific areas that are near and dear to your heart, it's pretty important. The fact that the money goes to the university to help all of us, it really is an important endeavor.
If any faculty or staff member have not given or did not receive a pledge card in the mail, or if they just have any other questions, Dennison said they can contact the office at 670-5843.
The SGA makes preparations for a rally at the state capitol for higher education funding. Christina Cook was at the meeting to give us the details.
On Tuesday night, the SGA discussed plans for the student body to participate in a rally in Montgomery to show that college students are interested in what the state has planned to do about college funding.
March 1st is the Higher Education Day. What that is a day for the state public universities at 13 to go to Montgomery and just basically have the students heard.
This is a very big and important event for the students at Troy University. It will give them a chance to express and have their concerns heard about higher education funding.
Pretty much what our job is to go out there and technically, I guess literally march Montgomery. We're going to have a little parade and there will be a little rally in the heart of Montgomery where we will be trying to convince the people within the government in Alabama to lower the tuition and to put more money contributing towards the college education.
And what would this possible change mean to the university?
It'll affect the university and however the university decides to use the funds that they're able to save after proration decrease a little bit. But I know for sure on everybody's mind is to make sure we have enough funding to keep academics going, not only at Troy, but at all the 12 other universities throughout the state. This is going to be the 9th higher education day, and we shouldn't have to have 9 higher education days for this to be stressed. You know, this is one of the last, I hope, higher education days that we do have to go to Montgomery and march and ask for funds and proration to kind of be decreased a little bit, just because, you know, it's just old now.
Christina Cook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The SGA would like for all campus organizations to participate in the rally in hopes of a positive outcome. Information on how to participate will be given out soon. And there are many different ways for Troy University students to volunteer in the community.
And today they had a chance to find out exactly what types of opportunities are out there. Felicia Payne has more.
Students were given the opportunity to speak with representatives from multiple organizations about ways that they could help in the community by volunteering their time.
They will be doing a different variety of activities. You know, we have certain things for spiritual growth. We have Bible study, we have bingo, we have the we do bowling. We try to get them involved in different things, whether it's getting outside walking or just spending individual time with the residents.
Some of the organizations that were represented at the event included the Salvation Army, the Colley Senior Complex, the Troy Public Library Tutoring Program, the Boys and Girls Club, and the Big Brother Big Sister program.
A lot of people don't know, so having volunteer fairs, let them know, hey, you need to get out there and volunteer and put in some work.
Those present at the event were eager to be able to help in the community any way that they could, especially after talking to the organization representatives.
I'm definitely excited for the Troy Fest. I didn't get a chance to volunteer for it last spring, so I'm going to do it this spring.
Troy students can still get involved in helping in the community even if they were not able to come to the volunteer fair.
A student can stop by my office in 115 Eldridge Hall. Additionally, our website is troy.edu/service learning, and we have a lot of good information for students about different community agencies and needs that are happening in Troy right now.
Felicia Payne, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, if students were unable to attend this year's fair but are still curious about what kinds of volunteer opportunities are available in the Troy area, they can stop by the Office of Learning Initiatives in Eldridge Hall.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, police are searching for a missing teenager who was last seen at her home in Bluntsville around 7 o'clock last night. Police say 17-year-old Nancy Knives is believed to have wandered from her home. The Alabama Department of Public Safety says the teen has some medical issues and might become disoriented. Authorities say she doesn't speak English and communication might be difficult.
Former Health South CEO Richard Scrushy will spend less time in jail. After spending more than 4.5 years in federal prison, Scrushy has been sentenced to 70 months in prison. Scrushy faced U.S. District Judge Mark Fuller today, where his lawyers argued for his reduced time on his 2006 robbery conviction. His previous sentence was almost 7 years in prison.
Governor Robert Bentley and Republican legislative leaders say charter schools and 3 other education issues will be their priorities for the legislative session starting next month. They say they'll push to legalize charter schools, which will focus initially on underserved communities. The legislature convenes February 7th.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan women's basketball team hits the road after a 3-game home stretch. Daniel Percival will be in with details later in sports.
But first, Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords said goodbye to Congress in an emotional farewell.
We'll have more on that story when we come back. The first must-have, the Troy University app, available at the iTunes App Store, puts information and interaction with Troy University at your fingertips even when you're on the go. Whether you're a student, a faculty or staff member, alumni, or a friend of Troy University, you'll find the Troy app indispensable. Students can work on online classes and get information about courses. Plus, there are campus maps, a staff directory with email and phone numbers, information about athletics, news, and much more. Get it today. The Troy University app for iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch.
Oh, this isn't good. I was a gift from him to her. I'm going to the animal shelter, which isn't necessarily bad. I just hate the stigma associated with shelter pets. People will think I bite or that I spray everywhere. They're the ones with problems. I'm totally fine. Adopt me, you'll see. I'm gonna go pack.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Tiffany Lester at the Global News Desk. Tiffany?
Thank you, Courtney. The House of Representatives put their disagreements on hold to build an emotional farewell to Gabrielle Giffords. The Arizona Congresswoman submitted her resignation as she continues her recovery from a gunshot wound to the head. Alexis Christoforous has the story from New York.
Lawmakers cried and cheered, putting politics aside as they said goodbye to Representative Gabrielle Giffords.
I am so proud of my friend.
Her friend, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, broke down before reading Gifford's letter of resignation.
I have more work to do on my recovery before I can again serve in elected office.
The Arizona Democrat stepped down to focus on her recovery, 1 year after being shot in the head at a political event near Tucson. Her goodbyes to Washington began last night at the State of the Union address. The room erupted in cheers when she entered, and President Obama greeted her with a long embrace. This morning in the House, colleagues from both sides of the aisle had warm words as Gifford's husband, Mark Kelly, watched from the gallery.
Gabby's courage, her strength, and her downright fortitude are an inspiration to all of us and all Americans.
She has brought the word dignity to new heights by her courage.
Once her letter had been read to the House, Giffords herself walked it over to Speaker John Boehner, who was moved to tears as members rose with a standing ovation. Gifford's farewell may be just a temporary break from public life. I will recover and return, she said in her resignation letter, and we will work together again. Alexis Christoforous, CBS News.
President Obama hit the road Wednesday, selling the economic plans he outlined during the State of the Union address. The Republicans running to challenge him are trying to knock down those proposals as they campaign in Florida. Randall Pinkston reports from the White House.
How are you? President Obama took his State of the Union proposals to this Iowa plant, hoping to show how his plan to change tax laws would benefit business owners and create jobs.
We've got to stop rewarding businesses that ship jobs overseas, reward companies like Conveyor that are doing business right here in the United States of America.
The president is pushing his plans on a 3-day trip to 5 key battleground states. He's fighting to convince skeptical voters concerned about the economy to give him a second term.
Our economy is getting stronger, and we've come way too far to turn back now.
The Republicans running for the White House insist the president's policies have failed. They're taking aim at his call to raise the tax rate on people earning more than $1 million a year.
This is a president who is turning America into a welfare-style state like Europe.
I am for lower taxes and smaller government. Obama's for higher taxes and bigger government.
The latest poll numbers from Florida show Newt Gingrich's message is winning over voters. He is virtually tied with Mitt Romney, who once held a double-digit lead there. Rick Santorum is running a distant third, and Ron Paul, who is not campaigning in the state, is just behind him. All 4 GOP candidates meet in Jacksonville for debate Thursday night. Florida holds its primary on Tuesday. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, the White House.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, including a story about a 13-year-old girl who can lift twice her body weight, you can tune into TrojanVision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Tiffany. And now we join Danielle Percival with some sports. So, Danielle, I know both the men's and women's basketball team have been at home, but it seems like they're about to hit the road soon.
Well, that's right. The women will actually be in action tonight. The men won't be for another day, but let's get into that women's game right now. Okay. Well, it seems like Murfreesboro is the hot spot for Trojan athletics right now. The track team was in Murfreesboro this past weekend, and the women's basketball team is hitting the road tonight to, you guessed it, Murfreesboro. Conference win yet, but they did come close against Middle Tennessee earlier in the season. The Blue Raiders traveled to Troy for that matchup, and at the end of regulation, the game was tied, sending them to overtime, where the Blue Raiders took the victory. Middle hasn't lost a conference game yet, but the Trojans could play the role of spoiler tonight. Head coach Mike Murphy says his team will be ready.
It was a very competitive game. I think our kids will go into Wednesday's game with a great deal of confidence, and I think they'll go in there with a great deal of spirit based on what they did tonight and based on what they did against Middle Tennessee in the last outing. We do recognize they're the class of the league. I think they're 2 to 3 games up already on the league, and we're only halfway through the league, so I know they'll be ready to go. They'll try to prove a point that the game here wasn't their best effort, and I'm sure we'll get that on Wednesday. We'll have to be prepared for that, and we will be.
Tonight's game in Murfreesboro is set for a 7 o'clock tip-off. And while the women take on Middle tonight, the men won't be facing the Blue Raiders until tomorrow. This marks the first time the teams have not played on the same night since the first game of conference play. The Trojans ended a 4-game home losing streak Saturday night, but now they'll hit the road. The team is just 2-7 away from Sartain this season, but Justin Wright says Saturday night's victory could help give the team confidence.
It feels good, definitely, especially after the skid we've been on. To finally get one in the fashion we got it was really good. And I think that kind of game is what a lot of our guys needed to realize that, I mean, you're in a slump sometimes, you can get out of it. And I feel like tonight that's going to help a lot with our confidence and moving on to the next game.
And that next game will be against the Blue Raiders. Tip-off from the metropolis of Murfreesboro is set for 7 o'clock Thursday night. The track team, as I mentioned, was in Murfreesboro last week. See what I mean? And while they're hitting the road, they won't be quite as far away this time around. The women's track and field team is participating in the Birmingham combined events today and tomorrow. This will be the team's second meet of the year, but some of the teams they will be facing have already been through 4 meets. Head coach Jill Lancaster says their delayed start plays to their advantage throughout the season.
History proves itself that we tend to be strong and produce in May and June when we're supposed to. It's a long season. We have an indoor conference championship, but we tend to rise to the occasion when we're supposed to, and you can only do that so many times in a season. I think part of it is that we do not get in a hurry. We're very patient with our athletes and give them an opportunity to get in training days before they ask their body to sustain a very high level for that many weeks from January to June. Something's going to give if you don't get in some training days.
So guys, there's lots of Trojan action that has been in Murfreesboro, is going to be in Murfreesboro, so hopefully they can come home with a couple of victories. The women play tonight, wish them the best of luck, and the men tomorrow night.
Maybe we'll do some damage in Murfreesboro.
That's right.
Thank you, Danielle.
Find out how students can get more involved on campus and throughout the community in today's Trojan Talk.
Plus, we've seen rain and low temps this weekend, and it's Hump Day Wednesday. It's sunny and pleasant outside. We continue on this uphill trend for the rest of the week. Derica?
Well, Courtney, I hate to bring you the bad news, but it looks like the weather will be going downhill after this week. I'll let you know next in weather.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Troy University's official student newspaper, The Tropolitan, comes out every Thursday. To give us a look at what will be in tomorrow's edition of The Trop, here's Ed Bailey.
Good evening, Troy University. Here's what you can expect to see in this week's edition of The Trop. News will give you the dirt on the construction project behind Old Saga. We'll also have word on the winner of The Apprentice visiting campus next week. Arts and Entertainment will dish on the Storytelling Festival as well as preview the upcoming production, What's Next. Sports will have the scoop on the baseball and softball teams' roster reloading and coverage on a Trojan Spurs exploits at the PCA National Finals Rodeo. And that's tomorrow's Trop Today. I'm Perspectives Editor Ed Bailey.
And now Derica James joins us with a look at weather.
So Derica, we started off the week with really rainy weather, but today in the middle of the week it was nice and comfortable, 70 degrees, mostly cloudy, but it was still nice. We saw some sun. What should we be expecting for the rest of the week? Will it be rainy or will it be sunny?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of both, and I'll let you know more later. But right now, let's look at our campus snapshot. As you can see, it's actually pretty nice outside. The sun is doing a little something there, but as we go into our current conditions, the sky is sunny, temperature coming in at 75 degrees, dew point at 60 degrees, humidity at 58%, barometers at 30.05 and falling with winds coming from the north at 7 miles per hour. Then today, a high of 76, low of 58. There was no rain. Sunrise at 6:41 a.m. and the sun should set at 5:11 p.m. As we look at the temperatures around the state, we see that it's mostly been pretty warm across Alabama. You see Huntsville coming in at 68, Birmingham at 68, Montgomery at 76, Troy at 75, Phoenix City at 68, Dothan coming in at 77, and Mobile at 69. So it's been pretty nice, cool going across Alabama. As we look at the southeast, we see most of the southeast are feeling about the same temperatures as we're feeling here in Alabama. Mostly 60 and 70 degree weather, with Brownsville actually coming in our highest at 86. So they're getting a little bit of that summer touch here and there. As we look at the current temperatures, we see most of the temperatures throughout the United States have seen an increase. As you can see right out to the west of us, they still feeling some very chilly weather, but it has increased over the last 24 hours. As we look at current surface map, we see that on the west, they have a cold front coming in, but a warm front right here just going through. That gave them their increase in weather, but they're going to probably get a decrease in temperatures when that cold front comes through that area. But as we look closer into our area, we see there's a warm front that has came up through from the Gulf, and there's some rain systems out to the west of us. But our area is staying clear with light winds. And as we look over the next 48 hours, we see most of the east will maybe seeing some rain. Probably our area is going to probably have about 80% chance of seeing this rain, and some of it may be severe, with temperatures, with the rainfall being probably about an inch to an inch and a half. So you want to be on the lookout for that. Make sure that you have your raincoat and rain boots tomorrow. So as you see closer, that rain is going to pretty much cover all of the southeast, all of Alabama, so be on the lookout. But as you see, our area probably won't be seeing any thunderstorms, so we don't have to worry about anything being too horrendous. As we look at Thursday, we see that rain moving through. On Friday, that rain should move out, probably about 20% chance that rain's still going to be in our area. Saturday, that rain should clear out the whole east and leave us with a nice sunny day for Saturday and for Sunday. As we look at tonight's forecast, cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain around midnight with winds coming from the southeast at 6 miles per hour with a low of 59. Then tomorrow, showers in the a.m. and the thunderstorm later in the day around 2-3 o'clock may be severe, so you want to be on the lookout for that. Keep up with the weather updates for tomorrow, with winds coming from the south-southeast at 12 miles per hour with a high of 75. Then as we look at our class outlook, 7 a.m., you can cancel that cup of joe on your way to school because you won't really need it. It's going to be a nice temperature tomorrow when you start your day. 10 o'clock, go ahead and take that job because when we come into the p.m., we may be seeing that rain coming through. Now, as we look at our 4-day forecast, we see Thursday, it's really our only day to see a chance of rain by 80% chance. But we're going to keep those nice high temperatures in the 70s and 60s. But as we go into the night, those temperatures will come down, giving us those nice chilly nights that we got so used to. So as you see, our weekend is going to be okay. Thursday is just going to be a little rocky, maybe some severe weather, but our weekend is not going to be messed up with any rain showers or snow or anything.
That'll be really nice. I mean, it's January and it felt like 71 today. It'll rain tomorrow, but we'll have a nice sunny weekend, so that'll be a really nice day, nice weekend to go to the beach or something.
It sure will.
Thank you, Derica.
Thank you.